Welcome. Let's discuss the idea of evaluating function composition using graphs. So using the graphs below, let's evaluate f composed of g of 1 and g composed of f of 2. Let's start by evaluating fg at 1. Notice that this composition is made out of two functions, the function of f and the function of g. The first thing that we should do, we should identify the graphs for each of those functions. Notice that the graph on the left, there's a little f of x at the top of the graph. So we can say that this graph is for f of x. And notice that the graph on the right, we have the expression of g of x. So we can say that the graph on the right is for the function of g of x. Now to evaluate this composition, let's start by looking at the inside of this composition, g of 1. What we want to do, we want to go to function of g, and we want to see what happens when we evaluate it at the value of x equals 1. So going to the graph of g of x, here we have the value of x being equivalent to 1. Now let's figure out what is the y value of this function when x is equals to 1. So notice that the y value is equivalent to 3. So now we can come back to the original composition, and instead of writing g at 1, we can just substitute the value of 3. And now that we have rewritten our composition, let's go to the function of f, and let's evaluate it when x is equivalent to 3. So remember that the graph of f is to the left. So here we have the x value of 3. Now let's try to figure out what is the y value of the function when x is 3. So here we are intersecting the function. So now let's move to the right to look at the y value. So when x is equivalent to 3, y is equivalent to 6. So now we can claim that this is equivalent to just 6. So we are done, because now we can say that the composition f of g valued at 1 is equivalent to 6. Now let's try to figure out what is g f at 2. So let's start by looking at the inside of the composition, f evaluated at 2. So let's go to the function of f and identify the x value of 2. Let's see what is the y value. This is where we're intersecting our function. So now let's look at the y. So we can claim that when x is 2, y is equivalent to 5. So now we can rewrite our composition. Now instead of writing f at 2, we're going to substitute it with the value of 5. And now this is a new objective. Let's go to the function of g, and let's figure out what is the y value when x is equivalent to 5. So the graph of g, we have it on the right. The value of x equals 5, we have it over here. So now let's see where we intersect our graph. That's the intersection. Let's look at what is the y value for that intersection. The intersection occurs at the y value of 3. So now we can claim that this is equivalent to 3. So we are done, because now we can say that the composition that we were looking for, g composed of f evaluated at 2, it is equivalent to 3. Hello. If you would like to continue learning about mathematics, you can check out the videos on the left.